Hello and welcome back to Build Proportion Lab at DPE Summit 2023. And my next guest is Valera Zakharov.
Hello, everybody.
With Slack.
Yes,
I didn't
yes, you
confuse
did it right.
Yes, it is Slack. Welcome. Thank you for joining, and thank you for being a speaker.
Cool. Thanks for inviting me.
How's the conference so far?
It's good. I had my talk this morning, and so I was frantically trying to finish up my slides yesterday. So I only showed up this morning, and it's been fantastic so far.
Okay, so you know how they say you cannot really be done with the talk. You can only stop working on it. It's never finished.
But the feeling after the talk is fantastic. It's
So
the
I
best,
got you in the right
one of
time.
the best feelings. Yes.
I got you in the right time. This is the stress relief.
Yes.
That's the perfect. So what did you talk about?
I talked about Slack's kind of journey to optimize the release process that we undertook last year. So, and I just now got around to talking about it. So it was nice.
Okay.
Good times.
Tell me a little bit about it. What was it?
Yeah, so last year, we've always had this itch and suspicion that we were releasing our mobile applications every other week. And we noticed that our competitors, for example, many of them release every week, and that we weren't kind of in that maybe elite, category. And also a lot of our product people and managers and designers, they really were suffering from slow product iteration. So we decided last year, enough is enough. Let's go optimize it. And we did. And it was just kind of talking about that journey, the process, and also, what was cool is that I also was able to convey not only what we did and sort of the technical details, but also the way we approached the process of change, which can be scary for a lot of people.
So releasing faster, is it good for developer productivity?
I would say that primarily it's good for what we're all here to do, as in like we work for these companies that release product to users, and they,
I get it.
yes.
I get it. How it's good
So
for the
developer
user.
productivity, yes, I think that it's also good for developer productivity. One of the things that I talked about in my talk, one of the fears with switching to faster release cycles was added pressure on developers.
Yep.
And actually, the exact opposite thing ended up happening. We did a survey before and after asking about how much pressure you feel to catch that release train. And after we switched to weekly release cadence, the pressure was greatly relieved. So,
Just
that was
because
an awesome
there is
outcome.
another release in the week, and whatever you didn't do for this one, the next one is just around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a ticket for like the Trans-Siberian Express and you miss that one, okay, like you got to wait for the next one, and it's going to take a while. But if it's like the metro and you have another train coming in 5 minutes, you're not going to sweat it that much. So, of course, it's not 5 minutes for us. It's still a long time, but definitely that relieved some of the pressure, releasing more frequently.
Yeah, it makes sense when you put it that way. So I guess that the next question is, so the developers now, what changed in their work, except of this, like, okay, we will always have time for to catch the next train?
I think that hopefully, less pressure. I don't think a lot has changed for developers, in the sense that I think most developers are, their primary concern is, I want to get this change into the main branch, and after that magic happens and it somehow gets out to users. I think it's the product managers and maybe some other stakeholders in the organization that care more about when it actually gets to the users. But for developers, the handoff is often that sort of ends at the main branch. So for us, the most important thing was that this doesn't have a negative impact on developers. And some developers are more conscientious about like, I really want to see my change get out there. Maybe I'm going to flip a feature flag once it's out there. And this process for them also brought a lot more clarity. It turns out that people are a lot better with weekly cadences than by like every other week cadence. So you no longer have the cognitive overhead of, is this the week that the release is going out? Is it next week? So now it's like every week it's regular. So hopefully, things have become more clear, a little bit faster, a little bit safer. So yeah.
No, this is interesting, and I think we have a kind of a great highlight of this conversation that more frequent releases are actually less stressful than
Yes.
more than this is maybe even counterintuitive.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that that's the way it is.
It is also interesting that I'll note this. I was talking to some folks after the talk, and they said, "Oh, we tried this, and it was a disaster." And I think that doing things faster requires a level like of competence and having good organizational kind of structure. And but at the same time, it's going to expose a lot of your weaknesses if you have them. And it did that for us also, and we had to solve some things. But I think like the cool finding for me was that if you already have kind of a slightly dysfunctional organization, this might be a really negative impact. Things are going to be very hard. But if if your organization is highly kind of functional, then this is going to be a good thing. So
it makes sense because it stresses the system.
Yes.
And then it
pushes you out of your
way.
comfort zone. Yeah. So I mean, I think it's fair to like being promoted to the next level and from the championship to like English Premier League. You're gonna lose more games. Yes, you're gonna suffer a little bit more, but overall it's progress, and you're gonna like play at a higher level. Hopefully, get to that level and like be comfortable there.
So speaking about things that didn't go well, right? What were some of those?
So the one thing that we discovered was, this is completely intuitive, is that it's more stress and more work for the release team. And we try to mitigate some of this by automating more things. And actually now we kind of created a team. It used to be one person kind of doing all the releases. Now there's a team around this person. They're mandated with automating more things. But it definitely, switching to the weekly cadence was good. Once we sped things up, there was less room for error, and that stressed him out. And when things don't go well, they are kind of there's a little more stress involved there.
That obviously makes sense.
Yeah.
So I guess you have processes to mitigate things that don't go well. Did they have to change, or it's pretty much the same?
Yeah, like one thing that was interesting is that when you release every other week and your release takes a long time, you really, really don't want to cancel a release, because if you cancel that release, you've just lost a month. With the weekly releases, we're a lot more comfortable saying, we found a bad bug, but you know what? The hotfix for that bug doesn't have to land in this particular release. It can, we can wait and have the next release go out in a few days. So that changed, and that was a positive change. I think we're more comfortable canceling release trains.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because there are less. There is another one around the corner,
right.
So where you can
yes.
wait. Yeah, that's an interesting perspective that it actually relieves stress instead of adding stress.
Yep.
I think this is eye-opening. Well, today we learned.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah. Valera, thank you very much. It was very insightful, and Valera's talk is going to be published with all the rest of the talks. So you are welcome to see the whole thing, and I will see you in the next episode of Build Proportion Lab in less than 20 minutes. Oh wow! Thank you very much. See you soon. Bye bye.